Hi. I'm Debbie. I've been asked to kind of teach you how to paint tonight, and I hope you have fun. I am in Utah, and Sister Slight has asked me. I am cousins to Craig, and I have been painting all my life, and I have a little business in my home where I go out and do birthday parties and kids art classes and adult paint classes, and sometimes I come to church groups and do church paint nights. So we're going to do a paint night tonight. I hope you have fun. We've chosen to do a poppy field, which is kind of fun. This one is on an 8x8. You can do it on the 8x8. It's smaller. Usually it's youth can do it in about an hour. Right now I'm going to demonstrate on 11x14. Some of the things that you will need. Oh, that would be nice if I had everything I needed. No, need some paint brushes. And so I have a bigger canvas, so I need bigger flat brushes, but I have a couple flat brushes. If you do a smaller painting, canvas size, you'll need like a small flat brush, and then just a round brush like this, and then a small detail brush. So really you actually just need 3. I'm going to use a bigger brush, so we'll go a little faster. The paints you'll need a blue, a green, a yellow, red, a dark purple, and white. You'll also need like paper towel or a rag, and a cup of water to rinse out your brush. And you will need spackle. We are going to actually create some texture in these poppies. You probably can't tell, but there is some texture according to the poppies, and we are going to mix that, and we will do that later. So right now you're going to take your wide brush, and I like to get it wet, and I kind of like to water down the canvas. Oh, my brush isn't clean, so you can kind of see it's kind of green, but I like to get it wet. So you're going to take your brush, you're going to water down and paint with water your canvas. So get it wet. Now the paints I'm using are acrylics. So if you're not using acrylics and you're using a tempera is water-based, and so you won't need to wet down your canvas as much. I'm going to take some of the light blue here, and I'm going to kind of get situated so you can see this. So anytime you need to pause the video, go ahead and do so. I am going to make an arch, or like I tell the kids, a rainbow. We're going to do a rainbow here. And then I'm going to paint it in. So I'm going to take my brush, put it in the water, dip it in the blue, and I'm going to paint the sky blue. Now you can use any blue for your sky. I'm taking this little bit lighter, bright blue. I'm painting the sky here. So you don't want to scoop it, you just want to dip it and just have some long, smooth strokes going back and forth. I kind of keep that arch shape going back and forth here. Like I said, anytime you need to pause, go ahead and pause. I'm kind of a fast painter. I then clean my brush, and I'm going to dip it in the white paint. So I have some white here. And I'm going to dip it in the white, and I'm going to start blending right on the canvas the white with the blue. And this will kind of soften up the sky. Later, when it dries a little bit, I will show you how to put some clouds in the sky. I know my little example doesn't have clouds, but we're gonna put some clouds in the sky. But I kind of just soften it up. Okay. And it just softens it up here. Okay, now I'm going to clean my brush and dry it off. And I'm actually going, now when I get this done, I'm going to dip it in the yellow. Now you might want to have a hairdryer on handy, depending on the size of your group and how fast you are. Normally I have a group, I have a hairdryer on hand because it takes a little while for the paint to dry. So you can kind of dry it after we put the grass in. But I'm going to start off with some yellow here, just right here on the arch. And then I'm going to slowly bring in some green, like this. And then I'm just going to kind of bring it up into the yellow. Just like this, and kind of blend it so it's a little bit lighter up here. I might add a little white just to kind of soften. White kind of softens things a little bit. As you can see here, it kind of has softened this edge over here. And then I'll just bring it down. I kind of keep the movement of going back and forth. If your canvas tends to dry out and you notice little bumps, you see all these little bumps, add a little water to your brush. And I'm just going to kind of bring in, I'm going to make it a little bit darker down here towards the bottom. And get that paint on and keep going back and forth. Gonna add a little white to certain areas. It kind of softens so it doesn't look so harsh. I might bring some more green up here. It's a little too yellowish. I'm gonna put some green down here. You can even add a little blue, because blue and yellow make green, so adding blue just gives it a little bit extra something there. So down here towards the bottom, I'm going to mix a little dark purple in with the green, and what it's going to do is, you see here, I don't know if you can see, down here at the bottom, it's making the green just a little bit darker. So you want to get it the way you want it. I'm going to pause and keep working on your grass. Okay. So I have my grass done. Okay. It's a little dry. It should be a little dry up there. I'm going to start by taking my my round brush and to put in clouds. So how I do clouds, and this is kind of, hopefully you can see real here, I'm going to dip the brush into some white here. Okay, and just kind of, just not a lot, I just put the tip in. And then I take my hand and I'm just going to kind of, I call it smushing the brush, so the bristles kind of flare out, and I kind of bring it out till it disappears. So here is a very strong paint. I can come back over here and I kind of start blending it in. So I'll come over here and put another cloud here. So I kind of smush it and bring it up here. Put a little more paint on my brush. That will be where all the puffiness is that glob or strong color here of white. I'll just kind of leave it, and then I kind of blend it in here into the background and kind of smush it in. And you can see it kind of makes it look puffy. So again, I just take just the tip of the brush, and I'll just put like a glob here. And you can see there's a glob here, and what I'm going to do is I kind of push it up like this, and then I kind of smush it till it kind of fades, and then I'll come back again with a glob of paint, and I'll kind of smush it. And you see I leave those big lines here because it looks, I kind of like puffy clouds, so I'm going to put the puffy clouds here. And you can put as many clouds as you want. I'm going to put a few. I'm going to put another one right here. Okay. And it kind of smushes it in. So I've got a few clouds. Maybe I'll put another little one right back here. Down on the hillside. Down here I'll just kind of smush it in. Okay. Okay. All right. So now here comes the fun part. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this spackle, and I take a little spoon here, and I am going to just give me, hopefully it's not too dried out. It's been sitting. I think it's enough. So I have a spackle, and I'm going to put it on my plate here. So it's a good dollop of paint. I'm going to add some water. Mine's kind of dry. So I take, so see how I have some smushy, or a glob of it. So then I will take my round brush, grab it here, and I kind of get that wet, and I'm going to smush it in. Kind of, again, mine's kind of dry. I'm going to take some red, and I'm going to mix it into this spackle. Kind of mix it in. This all the way. And I get it all nice and mixed in. Get some more here. Okay. So I'm getting that mixed in. Now your poppies, they could be orange maybe. If you have orange paint, if you want pink, you could get some pink paint. Anyway, I take, and so now you see my brush is kind of filled with goop. So what I do is I'll take my brush and kind of get it all goopy like this. It's kind of filled. And then I'll come up here, and the front ones, if you notice in our example here, the bigger ones are in the front, and then we get smaller as we go back. So what I do is I take a glop of this, and I'll say, okay, I want a poppy here. So I make a half circle here. And again, this might be still wet. In fact, I'm going to pause, and I'm going to dry my green. Okay, I'm back. I used a hairdryer when I make sure it's dried. So what I'm going to do is I come back with the red, and I get kind of a scoop. This is where you can scoop, is better than dipping. And I am just going to make like little half circles like this. And I'm going to leave, I don't know if you can tell, but I have some texture on it. And I do 4 little half circles here. And like I said, you can place them anywhere you want. I kind of make them big in the front. So I go half circle around here. You might have to occasionally clean off your brush. It gets really goopy at this time. And so I'm kind of doing some half circles here. Woo. That's really wet. I'm going to make a goop here. Come back to that. And come back over here, scoop up some more, and make a half circle. Ooh, I got some purple in that one. So I'm going to make a half circle here. Half circle up here. So I get some big ones up in the front here. Okay. And what happens is this spackle, you might not mix it very well, which is okay, because then when it dries, you get this variety of colors into the mix here. So I might put another big one over here. So I get some in here going along. The one thing I always tell everybody is nature is not perfect. That's what makes it perfect. So then as I go back, again, you can kind of see I have a glop on my brush. So I'm going to clean that off pretty good, because you can get a goopy mess. I'm going to scoop up some more of this lovely stuff and start toning down or making them a little bit smaller in the back, placing them anywhere. And right now you're thinking they're just kind of just blobs, and that's kind of what they are. They're just kind of blobs. And as I move back, I don't have to get so, see, there's just a blob of circle there. But then I can come back here and I can just barely touch the canvas. Back here I just barely put little touches back here, because they're very tiny in the back. Again, my spackle is almost dry, so it's kind of really hard to work with. Yours is probably nice and fresh. But I can come back here. If you see how I'm putting little dots back here, because they're very small back there, and there's a bunch of them. And you can put a whole bunch. And maybe there's one here. It's kind of a medium one. Okay. So this is your field. I sound like Bob Ross. You can just put a little happy flower here. Nope, but this is, you can put it anywhere you want. Clean out my brush a little bit. I can even use the back end of my brush, and I just dip it in the red, because I don't even need any texture in the back, and I can put these little dots in the background so they look like there's a whole bunch back there. Put some up here. We come back. Just kind of a glob here. Okay. We got some poppies going on. Okay, so it should kind of look like this right now. Okay. So now it looks like my time is running out on this one, so you're going to get to part 2 and we'll finish up, okay?